Have you ever wondered, how should I start my webtoon? Well, I have the answer for you. Hi everyone, I'm Jing Jing Comics and welcome back to my channel. Today, I'm showing you how to organize my entire webtoon story from messy ideas to structured episodes using Google Slides and Google Docs. If you ever felt overwhelmed by your story outline or character arcs, this one's for you. I use mostly Google Docs for my comic writing process. I often like having everything in one spot, so Google Docs is what helps me organize my thoughts. My webtoon for this story of Inner Bakery actually started out as a one-time thing where I had an idea for a long time and I wrote it all out on one single sheet of paper. So I kept this for 2 years before I decided to make it into an actual webtoon comic. So this Google Doc is where I do my writing, especially for scripting, dialogue, and describing scenes. When I wanted to write my own script, I wanted to try to make myself a pitch deck to submit to regular publishers. So I follow some YouTube channels, and here are some that I think are really great. I'm going to put their links in the description below. I also followed Michael Regina and Kathy J. Johnson to how to make a graphic novel. I find they were very helpful, especially Kathy's YouTube videos, which helped me learn a lot about scripts and how they work and how to make them better. So I try to make my script as detailed as possible, thinking about the script like a cinematic movie in my head and then writing it out on the page. Because of the format of webtoons, I can also consider scrolling and how that would relate to the reader's view. So it's really interesting how you can incorporate that into the creation of a webtoon comic. Maybe in the future, I'm going to try to have my comic published by a publisher, but for now, I'm just going to do self-publishing on webtoons. So I use both Google Slides and Google Docs, and here's why. Google Docs is where I do all my writing, especially for scripting, dialogue, and describing scenes. It's really good to have all of your writing and scripts in one page. Google Slides is where I place all my reference images of visual materials that I want to use to draw inspiration. So it's not the best way because everything's literally on one slide, but it keeps everything in a single place, and when I just need the references, I just scroll to whatever slide I want. Once I'm satisfied with the reference images, I then use it to create my sketches. So sometimes I do them digitally on my Wacom Cintiq, sometimes on my large 14 by 10.5 inch sketchbook, which my university professor forced us all to use, and now I still use to this day because it's pretty big, but it's really good. So I treat my Google Slides like a reference tool. Basically, I keep all of them on one slide and then I scroll to the visual image that I like and then I keep it in somewhat of an order. So for example, if I were to do an image of a grandma, I have all my grandma slides here, all my landscape for a location here, or a baker images here, and so on and so forth. So having both tools lets me be creative and structured without losing my mind. So here are a few things that I've learned that kept me sane while working on this huge series. Basically, number one, you want to have a Google Calendar for every time that you are working on your comic. You want to time block everything out so that you have enough time. This has to do with time management. Second, don't be afraid to rewrite your script. Sometimes it doesn't work or you forgot the script, doesn't make sense. Just rewrite it, redo it for the thumbnail process. And also make some space to dump messy ideas. I always keep a sketchbook with me on my trips outside everywhere I go, and also have my notebook on the phone so that anytime I have any idea about any scripts or new characters, I just jot it down so I don't lose it. Thanks for listening to me talk about my process, and if you have any other questions, feel free to leave them in the comments below so that I can help you on your webtoon making journey. Pastries for the soul, webtoons for the heart. See you soon!